All right, once you get Lapentor up and running, the first thing you want to do is add panoramas. So you should have an interface that looks like this. You can name your project. If you don't, there might be a create project, but once you get to the create project, you're going to have this interface. And what you need to do is upload your panoramas. And as we discussed in the previous video, Lapentor takes mono panoramas. And so I have a series of panoramas that I've saved in mono format. And I'm just going to grab a couple of them. So I'm going to grab these two right here. And I'm just going to drag them in. You could drag multiples in at the same time or just one. You can always add more later. But I'm just going to take two in just to sort of keep this presentation simple. And it's going to upload it. And then it's going to start, it's going to say, all right, I got them uploaded. And then what you want to do is you want to pick them and you want to make them a sphere. And you have two options for making a sphere. You have multi-resolution and standard. If you have a really high resolution panorama, you could use multi-resolution. These are relatively low, and I'm just going to use standard. What multi-resolution means is it will vary the resolution of the image based on how far you can zoom in and out. So things that are further away, it just makes it more efficient for the much larger panoramas. I'm just going to go ahead and pick standard here, and it's going to start processing these so you can see it. It's making it into the panoramic image, and then it's going to do the second one. All right, so it's done. You could upload more now, but I'm just going to go ahead and close this. And then what you can do is you can come over here and just click on one of these, and it will open up that panorama in the editing display. And so what I can do, what I would suggest you do now is that depending on how many you're going to have and things that you're going to upload, I would make a little folder here. This is kind of the organizational area, and right now what we have is uncategorized. So I'm just going to make a folder here, and I'm going to call it Pan Interior. You can see I use that a little bit, and click OK. And it'll make a little folder organization here. And you can comment, if you come to the left side, you can drag your panoramas down into the folder. So I'm just going to do that. And that just gives me the ability, when it comes in, it's uncategorized, but it just gives me the ability to have a little bit more organization. Okay. So once you get your panoramas in, we can start looking at setting up the views. So for example, if I come into this guy right here and I start spinning around, you can see, you know, I can set my view wherever I want it. That wasn't a terrible view, but maybe if I come over here, I want to look out this way. So over on your right are sort of your editing tools. This creates hotspots. This creates settings. This alters your view settings. So I'm just going to come in and I'm going to set the default view. So that's going to mean whenever this panorama opens, this is going to be my default view. So I can set that one. And then I'll go ahead and set the panorama. Right? This one, of course, don't want to be looking at the wall. We're a little bit on the floor here, which is sort of interesting. But I'll come over here and set my default view for that. So now whenever I go between these, I should have those set up as my default views. So that's a really basic thing to do. Okay. All right, so what we're going to want to do is set our zoom factor. It's just that sometimes you can zoom in and out on this, and sometimes it can really wonk out. So I'm not so concerned about the closeness here, but if I'm getting real far away, that's really sort of wonking out my view to the point that I don't like. So maybe I just want to get it somewhere around here. So in your view settings, you have minimum and maximum zoom. So I'm going to go ahead and set my minimum zoom here so it won't go back anymore. So if I click on set minimum zoom, it'll tell me it's saved, and I need to preview it to test that out. So now if I come into preview, if I back up, it will just stop right there. It won't go any further. I can go forward, right, which is, whoo, that's a lot. But so now maybe we want to set our maximum zoom. So if I come back and come back here and zoom in to right there and then set our maximum zoom and then go to preview. If I come in, it stops there. It only gives me that much zoom, right? So you can control that. And then if we close this guy, if you open this up, you can also set a limit of the view. So if you click this on, you can rotate And if you want to limit how far you can go to the right, right? Like if you don't want people to go very far, you can limit. You can also limit the bottom. So like if I limited the bottom, like I can go all the way and look at the floor here, but maybe I don't want it to go that far. So I will limit the bottom here, right? And then if I come around, maybe I only want it to go this far on the left. So I'll limit the left. And then if I go to my preview and I go bottom, it stops right there. And if I go to the left, whoops, it didn't really, oh, it must have, let's go back and reset that. And so if I come over, let's do it right here, and let's go ahead and set that. And let's do a right too, so I can't turn around. See if we'll do that. And then let's do a top. Might as well go all the way. So that's as much as I can go to the top. All right, so now let's preview that. And if I come in, there's this top, there's the right, there's the left, and there's the bottom. So it really limits your panorama ability. So you can come in and do that as well. All right, so go ahead and spend some time sort of working on those and getting those guys set up.